Hello everybody and welcome back to the final round of the Simraceway American Legends Championship. Coming from you here today from the beautiful Lime Rock Park with an even more beautiful car, the Ford GTR GT2, the birth child of the remarkable GT40 that won at Le Mans 4 consecutive times back in that dominant era. We're here today to determine who's going to be dominant in the last round of this championship. There's not long left to go. 5 minutes in fact left of qualifying, and it is Mr. Ganja who currently leads the way of 53 seconds, 0.650. We've got Ignalis in P2. P3 is not too far away. Dimitri just 0.3 of a second behind. Wacky Pie P4. And so it's a very close session as we come towards the end of it. We'll be doing our best to keep you up to date on all of the happenings around the circuit. It is most definitely going to be a round to remember. And don't forget, if you do want to get involved with us here at Sim Raceway, be sure to go over to simraceway.com and press that bright yellow chat button and talk to the racers and fellow members of Sim Raceway staff who are eagerly as excited as we are today about the finale of this championship. Or connect with us on social networks. Our Facebook page is facebook.com/SimRaceway, and our Twitter page is @SimRaceway, or my personal one is @LiamJSimRacing. So if you do want to get involved, then you can please contact us through there, and I'm sure we can have some interesting discussions about the racing we're going to see today. The first race then will be 13 laps around the Lime Rock Park circuit. The final race of the night is going to be a whopping 56 laps. And that is for the guys in the 900 to 1100 A race, who really are going to be pushed beyond their limits, I think. The Lime Rock is not exactly the easiest track in the world. You've got about, in all honesty, a minute per lap, about 56 seconds or so. So it really is going to be an intriguing session, to say the least. No real time to slow down and have a recap. You've got to be at the very top of your game the entire time. So yeah, the final few minutes of qualifying just getting underway. Mr. Ganju's just come into this championship, in fact, is looking very strong, making his debut here today on the final race. So 2 minutes 42 seconds left of the session. Ganja down to third though, after being topped there by Ignalis and Jim Wally. He's gone a bit wide actually. Through turn numbers 1 and 2, he's got to be very, very careful about this. It's not exactly the easiest track in the world. And the thing is, because the lap is so short, with a track that's maybe a bit longer, something like Watkins Glen or Laguna Seca, if you make an error, you do have plenty of time to correct it and to regain the time lost. But because Lime Rock is only 7 corners long, if you make an error, there's not much in the way of redemption that you can go, because there's so little time to gain here. Everyone is so very tightly close. To put it in perspective, P1 to P9 is separated by just 0.9 of a second, so by no means is it going to be a very spaced out lobby. It's going to be one that I think really is going to separate the men from the boys here, almost like a sprint race. We're looking at approximately 15 minutes worth of racing action for these guys here today. And as Bolinas goes over the start-finish line, he doesn't improve his current time. Into turn when he goes again, bit of a wider line to cut nice and early in on the exit. Brocklanders P5, Dimitri P6, Wacky Pies in 7th, Benno Wilson 8th, Reber in 9th, James 38 makes his 4th consecutive appearance in this championship in P10. I think he has not missed a race in the last 3 championships, so that young man, I say young man, is he's definitely one to watch. James 38, always very consistent, very respected, of course the oldest Sim Raceway member here, so again, very well done to him for being as consistently dedicated as he is, and he's definitely one of our most valued members here. We've got Reber 88 just in front there in P9. Let's see if there's any late shocks. Nellis is back in the pits. Brock Landers should be the man to provide the most challenge to him. He's currently 1.3 of a second away as they make their way up the hill for his 9th attempt in this session. So that is an incredible feat. So 10 minutes, he's got 9 laps out of it. And that is something very difficult to accomplish. That must be almost like a race simulation. That he's just been non-stop out there for 9 laps. And that car's going to be getting lighter on fuel as well as he goes over the start-finish line. Does he improve? No, he doesn't. So, lap number 10, he still has more time. McNellis is still in the pits. Jim Wally in third has returned as also. So, Mr. Ganja, who's now down to P4, may be looking to retake something here. Maybe throw a spanner in the works of the big guns. Who knows? Let's just try and wait and see, because right now he's got a lot to prove. He does go top. And a bit of a late update there, but he beats McNellis by 0.06 of a second. So right on the bubble, Mr. Ganja making a name for himself. It could be a pole on his debut. Is it going to be a win, though? Let's find out. There's not much time left in this session, as we've said. The checkered flag will be out very shortly. In fact, it's out now, so the drivers will get to finish their current laps. Whether they can maybe amount to anything more than this or no is going to be another issue, because Ganja has done an absolute emphatic job right now. Through the final corner they come. And let's see what Ganja can do. He pulls into the pits. So Ganja down to second. Benno Wilson out of nowhere. 500 quicker. The session is over. Benno Wilson with an absolute intense lap. That is phenomenal. And the session comes to a close. The drivers can't believe it. I can't believe it. Benno was previously 8th and is now your pole sitter for the final race of the championship. We'll be right back with you with all 13 laps. Please do not go anywhere. Hello everybody and welcome back live to the Simraceway American Legends Championship. A shock pole position from Benno Wilson just a few moments ago saw the lineup shake up even more than we possibly thought. Mr. Ganj second, Brock Landers are directly behind in P4. 2.5 red lights. And now we have actually a big start by Impulsive as well, an absolute rocket off the line. And he's left the rest of the field for dust and into a first corner where sometimes collisions are inevitable. He's pulled away beautifully and Ganja goes wide. And it's so hard to recover from there, but he's done so successfully. And as the field stream down their way through turns number 2 and 3 for the first time today, they've all got to be so careful. Bolinas is looking stronger in P7 despite a weak start. We've been in 6th, but Brock Landers has dropped miles behind, 4 positions in fact. And he's now down to P8, and of course they are running the chicane layout, so it's a very difficult run to accomplish through here. And oh, a bit of a bump there for Bolinas, and that's going to allow Brock Landers in P7 to pull right alongside. Indeed it does. Through he goes. And well, it's a very difficult layout of Lime Rock Park. He's made it even more challenging while trying to overtake another car. Over the line they go for the first time. Benno Wilson leads. Ganja second, Nellis third. Jim Wally P4. And he's wide on his tail as well. Of course, there has to be some sort of level of patience for these drivers in the opening laps. They don't want to go throwing anything away just yet. It's a long race. I know it doesn't seem like it, but 15 minutes or so around Lime Rock Park is definitely challenging. And let's just see what Jim Wally can do today. There's a lot more they're competing for, of course, and just prior, this is the final round of the championship, a big cash pool at stake. With one drop round, some of these guys need a strong round so they can afford to have a retirement as a drop, and Jim Wally has been fairly consistent on all levels. He does need to try and find a little bit more, and as Acknowledge gains on Ganja a bit as well, we've got a nice trio there, battling over second position at this early stage. Reba sits in P6 behind them with Brock in 7th, Occupy 9th, and James 38 still clinging on 2 seconds behind those guys in P10 at the moment, so he's by no means out of this one. He's just got to keep his car at the pace. He knows how fast he is, and the potential outcome of this race is going to be for him. He's just going to play it very casually and hope there's a mistake up ahead, and there very almost was as Brock Landers gets passed again there by Reba, so Reba holds on nicely. And the fight for second is just about to heat up because Eknelis is already all over the back of Mr. Ganja. Benno Wilson almost into the sunset now, and they need a 2-second advantage over those two. And up towards turn number 6 then. When Ganja goes off, and that's going to allow Eknelis to go right through the middle. Easy as that. Eknelis sails into second place. And he's not going to be gifted a more easy overtaking opportunity than that, I think we've got to say, because that was handed to him on a silver platter. But now Ganja on the other side of the court now. It's up to him if he wants to try and serve an ace, and he almost served a foul there because that was almost a bit of a good collision, and Ganja's had a bit of an issue there. He's off, and he's saved the car, but he's lost positions, and once that contact with Bolinas, Dimitri has made a bit of an error after almost colliding there with Ganja to an extent. And now Reba needs to try and pull himself and take advantage of this because he's lost Bolinas 3 seconds down the road. See if he can maybe start mounting an assault on Dimitri then. Up the hill they go. Turn 6, Dimitri again runs a little bit wide, and Reba his chances up the inside, but thinks much better of it. Very tight corner D. Suspended contact or perhaps a running wide incident. Go down into turn 1 for the 5th time today out of 13, so almost approaching half race distance now. And we're almost seeing a bit of a squabble there over P2. Eknelis just 1.4 seconds away. Jim Wally in 3rd. We got Dimitri just about holding off from Reba. Brock Landers and Bolinas 7th and 8th. Let's see what Bolinas can do. He's had a slippery slope start to the race. He's now still trying to find some way back into this one, essentially. He's down in 8th position. A lot of ground to make up. Against that chicane, he's gone a bit too deep, I think. He mounts that curve, and the suspension is going to take quite a battering through there. Reba's starting to get a bit closer to Dimitri up front. We watched this battle just a moment ago, the last time they went through there. perhaps just a more minuscule amount of time that goes to compared to where he was previously. He's definitely within a look and has entered turn number 1. It is Mr. Ganju who leads the way in that battle after what was a really, really strong qualifying. He ended up on the first row of the grid, qualifying in second. But a little bit of an off moment through turn number 2. And seen him drop all the way down into 4th position, so it hasn't really been ideal for him today. See what he can muster up as the race wears on. And so there should be a bit of caution in the earlier laps, and I think most of the drivers have got that out of their system now, so it's all just a case of trying to do the best they possibly can with the circumstances they currently find themselves in. As Bolinas comes under attack there from Wacky Pie, and that was almost a bit of a sneaky move there from Wacky Pie. I wonder if he fancies his chances going in towards turn number 7. Quite plays it out wide to try and get a bit more traction, but that corner's so tight it's going to be extremely difficult no matter where you place your car. Lap number 7 then, we're over halfway into this race almost. And look at that battle as well. We've got Ganja, Dimitri, Reba and Brock Landers all fighting over position at the moment. But Benno into the lead, still a second in front. Could be the first man this whole championship to take a pole on his debut and convert it into a win. If he gets past this lap, that is the golden trio. And on a race debut, it's going to be a very strong performance there for the newcomer in the 500 to 900B race. 1.06 is the gap. Ignalis will try and shrink him down. Who's, again, Ignalis has got a very strong campaign here in this American Legends Championship. He's proven a lot of people wrong. Show him exactly what he can do. Let's just take a look at the current order then as Benno Wilson leads up through the chicane in the GTR2. Ignalis second, Jim Wally in third, Ganja still holds off Dimitri in 4th and 5th. You've got Reba and Brock Landers who have been in what can only be described as a war this past few laps. And just behind those, you've got Bolinas being chased now by Wacky Pie, who's got the lights on. Once in this battle for again quite some time, and Wacky Pie's off! And he's done well to rescue it and avoid contact with the tyre wall. And Ignalis into the lead! Lead change into turn number 1. Benno's got to try and find something quickly. And I think he's losing momentum fast. There must have been an error or something because Jim Wally is now closed right up on this one. And Benno Wilson is looking vulnerable. I think I may have put a commentator's curse on it. Into the chicane goes Ignalis. Benno follows. Does take a much speedier line, but I think it's cost him in the long run as he exits through the corner. Drifts a little bit wide over the curb and almost loses it, and that's the advantage Benno needs. Dives up the inside, and the lead is regained again, but a nice double back move from Ignalis. Ben can't push that much. It's going to end up being contact, and now look at Jim Wally trying to get involved as well. Are we going to see 3 wide? No, we're not, but Ignalis takes the lead, and Jim Wally tries to sneak up the inside for second, and he can't quite muster it up. A big move there from Ben as he takes the lead back through turn 2. And this is truly excellent racing by the 500 to 900 skill quad right now. Benno is being put through his paces as we enter the final 4 laps of the race. And out of the way there moved Jim Wally. I'm not sure what happened there, but whether that was racing courtesy or Jim Wally has a problem. I think it was definitely racing courtesy. He's chasing quite hard already on Ignalis. He may have felt that his ambitious attempt was maybe just that, an ambitious attempt which was a bit unfair. So in return he's gifted Ignalis the position back to him. Mr. Ganja still sits in P4, never rides him out, he's 3 seconds away. And with the front 3 battling as hard as they are at this stage in the race, you never know who's going to come out on top. But Jim Wally looks to try and move to the inside. It will be a very simplistic manoeuvre if he can make it stick, indeed he does. And now Ignalis is flashing his rear brake lights. He's not obviously too happy with that one, having to be fairly hesitant to go through the middle sector in towards that chicane again. Mr. Ganja just about putting on P5. Oh, and he's gone off! Mr. Ganja down to P6. There's another one off as well. Bronx takes a bit of a detour. And Jim Wally just about holding on there. It's a very ragged corner as they enter the penultimate lap. But Benno Wilson is back in front. Jim Wally's up to second. Nick Nellis is down to third. You watched all the action develop behind. Benno Wilson has been able to restake a 1.7 lead. And now Wally swoops it around the outside. He's going to be careful of that outside grass. You get caught on there. There's no going back. Off Jim Wally. A very nice manoeuvre there on the penultimate lap. 12 out of 13. Dimitri down to 4. Ganja down to 6. That's what you're watching when the move transpired. Ganja all the way down to 6 now. Bolinas down to 9th. And James out of the race. Unless that's a regular pit stop. No, that James is out of the race. I think the car is definitely in the pits. He's off, so he's still in the race. So he will complete and maintain that 100% finishing record. One which not many drivers can say they've accomplished here. Jim Wally is going to come down in towards the final corner, chasing Benno Wilson with a 1.6 second gap to him. So as long as Benno drives a nice clean lap, he's going to be considering himself the winner here of the final round of the championship. And look at that view down the straight. The entire top 5 separated by just 6.3 seconds. That is something which truly is a remarkable feature. And don't forget as well, after this, we have the A race where our very own cameraman Carlos will be back in action after a great run at Laguna Seca, so close to a victory. He'll be back looking to try and vie for more in the final round. Then we head back to the second round of the Lola Championship. And that one using, of course, the beautiful Formula 3 cars. Bit of a bounce there for Benno Wilson. We've got to try and take this final lap. I think watching as much of him as we can. He's only got 2 more corners. Through turn number 6 he goes. Bit of traffic up in front, and I'm sure he's going to move out of the way. Benno does not want to be held up at this stage. Onto the final straight, and it's not going to matter now because Benno Wilson, he takes pole and he takes the race victory on his debut. And what a way to start a competitive career. This young man is a talent in the making. Jim Wally finishes a great second place. Nellis just about holds off Dimitri in third, a second separating them overall. Reaper 88 disappointed with 5th there. Ganja perhaps even more so with 6th. He started in 2nd. A net 4 position loss. He will not be too best pleased with that one. Brock Landers in 7th. Wacky Pie in 8th. Bolinas in 9th. And your last finisher of the day will be James 38. So Benno Wilson ends the championship on an absolute fantastic way. In fact, he starts unentered as well because, of course, that was his debut. I'd expect to see many great things from that young man in the future. But for now, we hand it over to a brilliant onboard view of the A race. If you've ever wondered what it's like to drive in a championship, you're going to find out firsthand because No Fear C is going to show you exactly what it's like to drive one of these beautiful cars around Lime Rock Park. We'll be back very shortly with the next races of your evening.
That's the fastest lap with that car. Awesome, you've set a new fastest lap. Speed limiter is off. .95. That's a new fastest lap. Great work. Awesome, you've set a new fastest lap. 2.65. Take it easy in the pit lane. Remember the limits. Speed limits are on. Speed limiter is off. Speed limiter on. Speed limiter is off. Green flag, hit it, hit it! 53.61. That's the fastest lap. You've just done the fastest lap on this track. 52.98. You've just done the fastest lap on this track. 52.94. You've just done the fastest lap on this track. 52.95. Awesome, you've set a new fastest lap. That's a new fastest lap. Great work. 56. You've just done the fastest lap on this track. 1:06.69. You've just done the fastest lap on this track. final lap. Keep it going. The checkered flag is out. Congratulations, you won!